Brother Matt visited McNeese back on February 19th to spread his gospel to the students on campus. His fiery sermon summoned a large crowd that included some vocal opposing views. This debate bordered on what some called offensive.
You're a religious sinner. You're a twofold child of hell, Jesus said.
Even though his style seems confrontational, does Brother Matt have the right to say anything he wants, or should there be a line he's not allowed to cross? Many would classify Brother Matt's speech as consisting of fighting words, or speech that could incite violence and is many times inhibited. For some perspective, Inside McNeese caught up with Dean Osborne to discuss the topic of free speech on campus.
Fighting words should not be misconstrued as being the same as offensive words. And offensive words and offensive speech, as offensive and distasteful as it may be, is protected in the public forum.
McNeese's public forum policy must be adhered to, signed, and approved for any unaffiliated party to speak on campus. This includes speeches, demonstrations, the distribution of literature, and political campaigning. If some wish to take action over comments from Brother Matt, a civil suit is always a possibility. However, Dean Osborne said that many courts have very consistently been more inclined to protect the fundamental rights of expression over the feelings of those who are offended. Dr. Ringelstein, an assistant professor who teaches courses on U.S. government at McNeese, gave us a closer look when it comes to the First Amendment and the judicial system.
Fighting words as a category of unprotected speech technically still exists, but the court has found so many exceptions to fighting words that essentially, for all intents and purposes, it doesn't really exist as unprotected speech anymore.
Ringelstein describes it as being done in a piecemeal fashion, each case slowly enhancing the rights of the First Amendment. Two such cases were Widmore v. Vincent in 1981, in which it was ruled that universities that are open forums couldn't be denied to religious groups, and Cohen v. California in 1971, when it was ruled that profanity was protected speech in public forums. Since McNeese is a state university, it is a public forum. Regardless of the courts, the topic came up in an issue of The Contraband from a McNeese student named Ryan Nugent. In his article, Nugent proposed the idea that he and his fellow students fill out 400 copies of the public forum policy, effectively filling all campus speaking areas for 10 weeks. He also states that he was informed by Dean Osborne that if he or any other student or faculty member filled out the policy, it would not be accepted. Dean Osborne says this is because students can already speak openly on campus without permission, including across from unaffiliated speakers in the same area. Osborne added that the way to combat your opponent isn't to snuff out his ability to speak, but to counter his idea. When asked for his feelings on Brother Matt's religious speech, Nugent said he was not against his ability to openly speak, but rather his manner of speaking.
I am not even against the speeches that the traveling preacher has stated. I'm against in the manner that he's done so when he's targeted individuals. Freedom of speech is something that is very, very needed in society. This is a college campus where people are supposed to learn, but there's a certain line where freedom of speech needs to be put to check.
Dr. Ringelstein brought up a counterpoint.
Yeah, anyone could say they're offended and almost no speech would be allowed whatsoever. So even if you are offended, you have to live with it because you have the right to offend another person. Okay? So it's the rights for all of us.
The issue is still being debated, and the tug-of-war between free speech and protection from harassment wages on. If you'd like to get a copy of the public forum policy, just go to www.mcneese.edu/policy and click on the link of the same name. With Inside McNeese, I'm Sean Herndon.